Welcome to Stone STEM Academy. Right, in today's video, we're looking at a physics question which says that a man drives a car a distance of 200 km at an average speed of 44 km. What must be his average speed for the next 220 km if he is to cover the distance in 9 hours? Right, how do we go about this question? Solution. Right, as a physics student or as a science student as a whole, you need to understand and digest your question, or if any physics question you come across very well. So let's digest this together. A man drives a car a distance of 200 km. Now let's bring out a diagram for this. So let's say this is 200 km now. The man drives with an average speed of what? With an average speed of 44 km per hour. Right? Now, what must be his average speed for the next 220 km if he is to cover the total distance in 9 hours? So from this particular starting point to this point, the man moves 200 km with this average speed. Right? Now, what is the time he used to move this 200 km? We don't know that. We need to look for the time. Let's denote the time here to be small letter t. Right? Now, what is the next thing? Then, what must be his average speed? The first stage of his journey, he moved with an average speed of 44 km in 200 km. 44 km per hour rather in 200 km. Now, what must be his average speed for the next, that is the second journey, for the next 220? For the next 220 km. Now we are looking for the average speed he used to move for the next 220 km if he is to cover the total distance in 9 hours. So the distance from this guy here to this end point, it is what? That is total distance, and he moved 9 hours. He moved 9 hours for the total distance. So if the time from the starting point to this 20 km is t, then from this end point here to this point, it is what? It is less represented by the capital letter T. Are we together? Now, I need to get the time the man used to drive from this point to this point. He covered 200 km for that. And also, I need to get the time he used to move from this point here to this point, since I am giving my total distance already. Right? So, how do we get our average speed? We know that average speed, I will use S to be the distance over what? Over time. For the man's first journey, for the man's first drive, he covered 200 km, which is my distance. Then the average speed is what? 44 km per hour. So the average speed is 44 km per hour, which is equal to my distance is what? 200 all over what? All over t. Now, make t describe the formula, you cross multiply, right? I'll be having 44t is equals to what? 200. T is equal to 200 all over what? 44. That is the time the man used to move from the starting point, or the time he used to cover 200 km. Now, how do I get my average speed? The average speed he used to cover from this particular guy here, or the average speed he used to cover 220 km, which is capital letter T. Now, we already know that the total time he used to cover the whole distance is 9 hours. So it is the sum of the of each time he used to cover 200 km and 220 km. That is small letter t plus what? Capital letter T. So make capital letter T the subject of formula. I'll be having t equal to what? I'll be having t equals to 9 minus t. Right? Now, what is the next thing? So to get my average speed for the second phase of his journey, I will say that my average speed S is equal to distance over what? Over time. The second phase of his journey is capital letter T. Don't forget that. Now, since the second phase is capital letter T, I am looking for this average speed. Then I have my what? I have my distance. It covered 220 kilometers for the second phase of his journey. So I'll be having my average speed equal to, what is my distance? The distance he moved was what? 220 kilometers all over. Then the time he used, it is what? It is 9 minus small letter t. Right? So here now, I need to introduce my small letter t into my equation. To introduce the small letter t into my equation, I will make 9 minus t the Soviet formula. Let's do that together. I'll be having s into bracket 9 minus t equals to 220. Right? Make 9 minus t the subject of formula. So I'll be having 9 minus t is equal to 220 all over s. Now recall that my t is what? 200 over 44 hours. Now we're having 9 minus 200 over 44 equal to 220 over s. Now simplify this. I'll be having the LCM of 1 and 44 is 44. 1 divided by 44, or 44 divided by 1 rather, is 44. 44 times 9 is that. So 44 divided by 1 is 44. 44 times 9. Let's do that together. I'll be having 44 times 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 63. 9 times 4 is 36. That is 396 minus. This is going to give me 200 equals to 20 over s. So 396 minus 200 is going to give me 196 all over 44 equal to 220 all over s. Now I'm looking for my s, which is the average speed. Divide both sides, or rather cross multiply. I'll be having 196 times s is equal to 220 times 44. Right? Now, since I'm looking for my average speed s, I'm going to divide both sides by 196. Divide both sides by what? 196. So this cancel out this. I am left with s equal to 220 times 44 all over what? 196. So when you multiply 220 times 44, so I'll be having 220 times 44, 4 times 0, 4 times 2, 8, 8, 0, 8, 8. So I'll be having 0, 8, 16, 6, 1, 7. That is 7680 all over 196. So my average speed is 7680 all over 196 kilometer per hour. So you can punch your calculator, you get a whole number or a decimal